Have you ever felt a deep, unshakable pull towards something you can't quite name, as if your soul is whispering truth your mind can't yet understand? Carl Jung believed these whispers are not random. They are the voice of your unconscious, guiding you toward who you were always meant to be. In this video, we're going to explore the hidden language of the psyche, how it speaks, why we often ignore it, and what happens when we finally decide to listen. Stay with me until the end, because the insights we uncover could change the way you see yourself forever. There comes a time in life when we realize that the external noise, the opinions, expectations, and judgments of others can drown out the faint yet unmistakable voice within us. That voice, though quiet, carries the deepest truth we will ever know. It speaks not from fear or desire, but from a place of pure awareness. Carl Jung, once outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. These words are more than a poetic observation. They are a call to action. To look inside is to confront ourselves honestly, without the masks we wear for the world. It means standing in the stillness long enough to hear what our own soul is trying to say. When no one seems to understand us. It's easy to feel misplaced, like we are speaking a language no one else can hear. But perhaps the truth is not that the world has turned its back on us. Perhaps it is that we have been invited to listen more closely to ourselves. There is a peculiar kind of strength that comes from being misunderstood. It forces us to question, to refine our values, to ask ourselves, what do I truly believe in? What is worth my energy, my devotion, my life? These questions strip away the superficial, leaving only what is essential. The path inward is rarely comfortable. We will meet parts of ourselves we have ignored or even denied. Jung called these aspects the shadow, the hidden dimensions of our psyche that we often reject. Yet, embracing the shadow is not an act of self-destruction. It is an act of wholeness, for only when we accept our darkness can we truly stand in our light. The irony is that the more we turn inward, the more connected we become to the world. By understanding ourselves, we learn compassion for others. By knowing our own struggles, we recognize them in the eyes of those around us. Listening to yourself is not about isolation. It's about clarity. When the inner voice becomes strong, it serves as a compass, a quiet, steady guide that helps us navigate the chaos of the world without losing ourselves in it. There is an art to listening to oneself, a practice that requires patience, honesty, and a willingness to be uncomfortable. In the beginning, our inner voice may be faint, almost drowned out by the louder demands of the outside world. But with time, as we learn to trust it, that voice becomes clear and unwavering. Carl Jung observed, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is not a privilege granted by the world. It is one we grant ourselves. To become who we truly are, we must first remove the layers of expectation that others have placed upon us. We must shed the roles we were told to play and step into the space where authenticity lives. Often people confuse listening to oneself with selfishness. They imagine it means ignoring others or retreating into isolation. But the truth is the opposite. Self-awareness allows us to engage with the world from a place of stability and sincerity. Without it, we are easily swayed by the opinions of others, and our actions become a reflection of what others want, not what we believe. When we begin to truly hear ourselves, we may also notice resistance from those around us. Some will feel unsettled by our clarity, especially if they have grown accustomed to us living according to their expectations. In these moments, it is important to remember, our journey is not for the comfort of others. It is for the integrity of our own soul. There is a quiet courage in standing firm in our truth, even when it means walking a path alone. Yet, paradoxically, it is on this solitary path that we often meet the people who truly understand us. For those who live with honesty naturally recognize it in others. This is why listening to yourself is not just a personal act. It is a magnetic one. It draws to you the people, experiences, and opportunities that align with who you are, rather than who you pretend to be. There comes a moment in life when we realize that external approval is an endless chase. No matter how much we achieve, no matter how well we meet expectations, the applause fades. And when it does, we are left with the question, was I living for them or for me? Carl Jung warned us about this subtle trap. He understood that if we build our lives on the shifting sands of others' opinions, we will forever feel unstable. The world will always change its mind, but our inner truth, once found, remains constant. Learning to live from that truth requires deep self-examination. It means asking difficult questions. What do I truly want when no one is watching? What values feel unshakable to me, even if the world disagrees? What fears have been silently dictating my choices? At first, these questions may unsettle us. They might even reveal that we've been living a life that doesn't fully belong to us. But such realizations are not failures, they are invitations. Invitations to begin again, to rebuild with stronger foundations. Self-listening is not a passive act. It is active, deliberate, and sometimes painfully honest. It asks us to slow down when everything around us says, rush. It asks us to go deeper when the world says, stay on the surface. Over time, we begin to notice subtle shifts. We speak with more clarity. We feel less need to explain ourselves. And we experience moments of peace, even in the midst of uncertainty. This is the quiet strength that comes from alignment, when our words, actions, and inner values all move in the same direction. The path of self-truth is rarely a straight line. There are seasons when you will feel deeply connected to yourself, clear, decisive, unshaken. And then there will be seasons when doubts return, when you question everything, even the progress you've made. Carl Jung once said, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Those words remind us that identity is not fixed, it's a living process. We are not defined by our past, nor by the labels others place upon us. Every moment offers a choice to move closer to who we are or further away. What choice is not always easy? Sometimes listening to yourself means disappointing others. It may mean stepping away from relationships, careers, or lifestyles that no longer align with your deeper truth. It can be uncomfortable, like leaving a warm, familiar room to step into the cold. Yet in that cold there is clarity. The noise quiets. We begin to hear a voice that is not the echo of someone else's expectations. It is our own gut, and with time, we learn something essential. Self-listening is not selfishness. It is an act of integrity. When we honor our own truth, we become more capable of offering something genuine to the world. We no longer give out of obligation, we give from abundance. So, if you find yourself misunderstood, remember, perhaps it's because you are speaking a language only your soul fully understands. And in time, those meant to hear it will. There comes a moment in every journey of self-awareness when you realize that the world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs you, not the you shaped by constant compromise, not the you hidden behind masks to keep the peace, but the unfiltered, fully alive you, the one who speaks with honesty, loves without pretending, and walks paths others might never dare to explore. Carl Jung believed that this authentic self is buried beneath layers of conditioning, fear, and the desire to be accepted. And peeling back those layers isn't easy. It demands courage. It demands patience. It demands that you keep listening, even when silence feels unbearable. When no one seems to understand you, it may feel like isolation. But more often, it's a sign that you are entering a part of your life where fewer people can follow. This is not a punishment, it's an initiation, the beginning of a deeper, more personal conversation with your soul. So trust the distance. Trust the solitude. Trust that by honoring yourself, you are planting the seeds for connections that will be real, lasting, and deeply nourishing. And one day, you will look back and see that every step of this misunderstood journey was not taking you away from others. It was taking you toward yourself. So if this message speaks to you, don't let it fade away. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know your perspective. And if you want more journeys into the depths of the human soul, subscribe and join this community. Together, we can explore what it truly means to live, to feel, and to be